When we think of active volcanoes, one region comes to mind: Ring of Fire in the Pacific Ocean. 3/4 of all volcanoes on Earth are in this belt. Compare this territory to Australia. There is no volcanic activity. On the old continent of Europe, everything is calm too. At least we want to think so. Can you guess the most active volcano in Europe? If you thought of the Etna volcano on the island of Sicily, Italy, then you were not wrong. Volcano erupted about 200 times, and even in the last decades did not sleep. The last eruption occurred in August, 23rd year, the age of the highest mountain in the Mediterranean, 500 million years. But there is a much younger volcano in Iceland. It started erupting on the 10th of July, 23rd year. In the afternoon, cracks appeared in the ground on the Reykjanes Peninsula, in the southwest of the island. They were at the base of a small mountain peak. Her name is Light, and Kruter, in the local language, means little ram. Volcano spewed molten lava high into the air. Gas plumes were also observed in the eruption area. But the scientific community was not surprised by this event. Scientists have learned a lot about Greek volcanic origin, which stretches between cities, Reiki and Muffin. Her name is quite difficult to pronounce. Definitely didn't forget a couple of vowels here. The volcano had already erupted within the previous 2 years. This activity came after 8 centuries of silence. Days preceding the last eruption, seismologists and scientists studying earthquakes recorded more than 12,000 tremors. When, in July 23rd, ground opened, crevice and were over 1 kilometer long. The next morning 2 of them closed. Now, all the lava flowed out. From the last cleft, it grew into an oblong. Cone is the simplest form of volcano with which we are all familiar. Lava soon filled a large crater. In the first week, he grew almost 30 meters and keeps growing still. The night the lava eruption began, spread in all directions. Her ashes set fire to dry moss in the vicinity. Local authorities blocked the surrounding area. Poisonous gases came from volcanoes and from burning moss smoke. Firefighters came to the area. A week later, they announced that the area is safe. Soon tourists came here to see the birth of Europe's youngest volcano. This type of tourism is quite developed in Iceland. People come from all over the world to look at active volcanoes. In the land of fire and ice, there are more than 130 volcanoes. About 30 of them are active. I know what you are thinking right now. Is volcanic tourism safe? In Iceland, yes. Authorities conduct research and constantly follow all hotspots. Island dotted with several dozen seismic stations. They help researchers predict future eruptions, and emergency services are used to such events. They can quickly unhook danger zones. But this is what happened. 2000 volcano in southern Iceland, whose name everyone can hardly pronounce, started erupting. He spewed a plume of steam and 11 kilometers high. It wasn't the nicest time for air travelers. The wind carried a huge plume to the southeast, towards northern Europe. Many countries closed their airspace for a few days for safety reasons. Volcano erupted in March, but the earth has been shaking since January of the same year, so seismologists knew that eruption is approaching. Therefore, when it comes to the continent's youngest volcano, can be sure that the tourist infrastructure is prepared. Visitors can leave their cars on purpose, reserved parking, then they go on a 5-hour hike. It leads to the observation deck. Tourists are so close to the epicenter. What can catch floating haze from the crater? The spectacle is most impressive at night. While safety is always at its best, scientists regularly draw up risk maps on which the boundaries of lava fields are marked. Thus, visitors, following the rules, never in danger. More than a week after the eruption began, part of the crater collapsed. Lava flowed down the slope west of the volcano. This is Majes. Smoking hot river is a slow-moving lava. Scientists classify it as type A. In this Hawaiian term, he describes basalt lava, rough and brittle surface. Stream consists of broken lava blocks, which are called clinkers. They fall away as the flow moves. At the same time, hot areas are visible. Colder areas of lava are gray and black. When she moves forward, then makes a characteristic sound similar to the ringing of broken glass. a month after the eruption of a new volcano. We saw aerial photography of this phenomenon. A tornado formed right above the lava flow. This is due to the high temperature in the area, about 1,000 degrees. Under favorable conditions, pillar heated air can easily turn into mini tornado. Scientists observed similar events in 2018 during the eruption of the Kilauea volcano in Hawaii. Lava fields, Europe's second largest island, can tell. History of Iceland. It is located above the place where the North American and Eurasian plates meet. Planetary plates. Those are huge rocky pieces of the outer layer of Earth. Lithosphere. There are about 20 such plates in the world. They rest on a partially molten layer of rock. The asthenosphere is all lava. What we see on the surface starts its journey right here. You can say, what are those slabs floating on molten rock? Their boundaries are unstable. When two slabs rub apart, they release a huge amount of energy. Volcanoes form as a result. These are places where molten rock magma rises to the surface. Iceland began to form around 60 million years ago. Tectonic plates under the ocean diverged. Enough lava has accumulated on the surface to create solid ground. This ancient breed is underwater today. When new lava comes to the surface and cools down, she's pushing the old breed out of the center of the island. This is why the oldest parts of Iceland aren't 60, but only 16 million years. In the country, active lava fields are young. From a geological point of view, the age of some of them does not exceed 1,000 years. Scientists consider the island a hot spot for volcanic eruption, and for good reason. Almost a third of the salt lava reached the surface of the Earth in the entire history of observations since the 16th century occurred as a result of eruptions in Iceland, similar to those that appeared before the eruption of the 23rd year. Cover 30% of the territory of the Scandinavian country. For this reason, only a quarter of the island is inhabited. Norwegian Vikings were the first humans who settled in Iceland in the early 10th century. Nature threw an unforgettable party in honor of their arrival. Just a few years after settling in, they witnessed one of the greatest volcanic eruptions in Viking history. Arrived from the region where there were no volcanoes, therefore did not have no idea what's going on today. Icelanders are used to such events. It's good because that their homeland enters a new era of volcanic activity. Volcanologists suspect that recent events, these are preludes to decades of more frequent eruptions. Reykjanes Island, which is the youngest volcano on Earth, located just 27 kilometers south of, west of the capital of Iceland. He slept for a long time. Current eruptions remind us that natural processes who created Iceland still going on. Scientists recently discovered what exists historical connection between volcanic eruptions in northern Europe and glaciers. Our planet has survived at least 5 major ice ages. Those were exceptionally long periods when the average temperature on the ground was dropping. The result was the expansion of ice sheets throughout northern Europe and North America. The last ice age is over about 10,000 years ago. Researchers are still trying to fully understand like those ice ages affect volcanic activity. They suspect that huge weight of all that ice disrupts the movement of magma underground. When the glaciers retreat, pressure weakens. It makes it easier to move lava up to the surface. Where does she break out?